Tonight, we continue to honor our military heroes. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. Ever heard of the Island of Death? Larry Lawson knows it all too well. And before the pandemic, before we had to wear masks and all that, I got to meet Larry. He lives in Jacksonville now, but his story takes us around the globe. Take me back to where you grew up. Where'd you grow up?
Celeryville.
A puny town in Ohio, next to another town
Called Willard.
A smiling kid and his baseball buddies. A quiet life. Until
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Pearl Harbor.
That's why I enlisted.
Age 24, Larry Lawson joined the Marines. How was boot camp?
Rough. We were supposed to all shave at night. I skipped it once. They caught me the next morning, and I had to scrub the floor with a toothbrush.
But for this young Marine from Celeryville, the shock was yet to come. It was called the Island of Death.
You know, the Marines who fought on
Green
Guadalcanal
Hell.
called it Operation Shoestring. We didn't have enough supplies, we didn't have enough armaments, arguably didn't have enough men, and we hung on by the skin of our teeth,
Almost starvation for some troops. 2 tablespoons of food a day, period. Dr. Rob Citino, senior historian, the National World War II Museum in New Orleans.
Heat and humidity literally awful enough to rot human flesh.
And in the jungles, add in malaria.
Our regiment had 65% casualties.
Guadalcanal, an island in the Pacific near Australia, 8,000 miles from Ohio.
Guadalcanal was crucial, and I'll tell you why. Our first big counterpunch of the war in any theater, that is the Pacific, the European theater, the African theater. We cut the heart out of the Japanese carrier fleet at Midway in June.
And finally, after the shock at Pearl Harbor, America had the initiative.
You're making them dance to your tune.
But the fight bloody. Larry assigned to a field hospital.
I remember one. It was completely open, but they were still trying to, doing the best they can.
The Japanese attack.
I had no idea, but it would blasted him open.
Larry says trying to get cover on Guadalcanal, almost impossible.
At night, you do that, with our little shovels.
That is, try to dig.
You hit something hard.
Guadalcanal, not dirt, but coral.
We're supposed to, dig a foxhole. I had one about that deep. Couldn't dig in that coral.
6 months of fighting, then victory for America.
And it told everyone in the world, I think, that, look, the Allies may appear to be down, but they're not out, and they're coming for you.
And now Larry's proud to talk about his journey from Celeryville to service. He still irons his shirts with pride and still beats out the younger guys. Oh, and we should say that Larry just turned 103. But nothing tops the one chapter you haven't heard yet. On leave in Australia,
I looked across over the other side of the dance hall, and she's the one. 6 weeks after I met her, I proposed to her.
oh my gosh.
I got turned down.
Ooh. She said no?
Yeah.
But then 62 years of marriage made leaving Celeryville and serving our country worth it for Sergeant Lawson.